Now, that said, I'll go to a different color. This is yellow ochre. And I didn't clean my brush, so just let some of that red mix with it. And then start. I learned this brush stroke from Karen.
Let's make a little seagulls or something.
Little seagulls.
Mustaches.
Starting to break it up a little bit. Now, the next thing I'll do up here, when this dries, because I hadn't said this before, I generally work on paintings every other day. So I give a day for a painting to set up a little, not dry hard, but set up so
It doesn't blend.
it doesn't necessarily blend. It will if you push hard, but you can lay the paint on top without it blending.
Well, so that's why I'm having trouble putting my darks back in over
Yeah.
it. I'm not
Over
getting
wet
the
paint, yeah.
trees, yeah, okay.
So,
When you, okay, how do I say this? Put your last brush mark on it, that was, you know, at what's the drying time generally for your types of paintings? And then when do you actually put a varnish on it? When you,
oh, okay. I always, I should sure some go out without it. I do a retouch varnish. I don't do what's called a final varnish. There's no real reason to nowadays. The way we paint, there's no real reason for that final varnish. But back during the Renaissance and later too, the paint was much thinner. They didn't paint with real thick, heavy paint. And those final varnishes were really rarely ever very good. They darkened and yellowed, and they cracked too. So we kind of gotten away from that. If you do want to put a final varnish, you should wait about 6 months.
okay,
Now you can do a retouch varnish the minute that it's dry to the touch.
okay.
As long as it's dry to the touch, and you gotta touch it everywhere, like touch into those whites and places. And retouch varnish is made. You can buy it ready-made. The ready-made has turpentine and damar, so it's very toxic. You gotta have really good ventilation. The way I make it is with liquid, half and half of mineral spirits. And I've experimented with that mixture for a long time. And it was given to me by a person who was a restorer of oil paintings, and also a painter. So he felt like that was a good combination. And
So mineral spirits and liquid,
Liquid.
50-50, 1-to-1, okay.
but it works, and it really brings out the color, because darks tend to dry kind of dull,
Right.
and it brings the color back into darks.
So is it absolutely necessary to do that to your oil paintings then?
Well, in the case of yours, because you got a lot of strong darks,
Mhm.
so they're going to dry kind of dull.
Oh, right,
They're
okay.
going to lose their color, their luster. So the retouch varnish will
Okay.
make a difference. And this is still kind of underpainting. I'm still going to go back with higher tone hues, and I'm going to go back. The reason I talk about letting it dry, I'll reshape the sky, and I'll open a lot of this up. So I'll be shaping this, the big shape of the feathers with the sky.
Right.
Yeah. And invariably, I'll paint a sky about 3 times, getting it the value that I want, and the hue. But if you work fast and keep turning your brush different directions, this is not the kind of thing where you want to be like you're writing a letter, you know, like that, you know. You want to work really quickly. Now I'm going to use some cad yellow light with that same mix. A little medium. this side's in shadow and this side's in light. To go with the little lighter tone. That's mixing with green, it's already there. So I'll wait on that.
So you mix the cad yellow with what?
I added, cad yellow to the mix I already had.
To the ochre and the
Yeah.
cad red.
Let's go back in here. Now you should use a variety of brushes, brush sizes and shapes. But I will stay with filbers. When I get down to, say, the final last things, I'll go to a smaller brush and get little smaller shapes when I want them. And another thing about brushes is experiment with, you have a flat edge, a flat side, and you have edges, and then you have, I reckon that's about it, yeah. But you can vary the pressure, as you put the brush down and get different shapes. So you play with that with your brushes. So the final kind of tones I might put down would be with a small brush and lighter, smaller shapes, especially out on the edge. You see, individual leaves floating around right on the end of the limb. So, let's see what's. I've got some white on a tree over here. I started putting in this one gray. I'll put a little lighter tone on it. And there's some, you can hold, I generally hold the brush very lightly. And sometimes I drop them, have them too light. And there's some little thin trees over here. And here. Oh, there's rocks.
The blank rocks.
Pardon?
The blank rocks. The D rocks.
These are not the same kind of rocks that Morris is painting, but these are kind of flat and sticking out.
I actually didn't get those painted very well anyway.
Let's see if I can put it right. The kind of rock that you're painting is more rounded, right? Than these flat rocks. Would you say?
The one I was painting?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I took and blocked them all out because I made some mess out of them. Yeah.
All right.
Looked like one big green, it looked like a big green blob was sitting right in the very front of my painting. I'm like, that is so ugly. That's the ugliest mess I ever saw.
All right, this is kind of a round rock. And I've already had some paint down, kind of a gray. So, now I don't ever get them exactly right the first time, don't get me wrong. But there are gonna be a little darker underneath. So just don't, there's gonna be some cracks in them. And make it up. top. And then some will have a lot of moss. So look,
Very moss covered rock.
alright, that was a lot. And I sort of stay with these same colors that I had over here. These need a lot of work. These need some more darks in between. A lot of, yeah, it's like a face, a cliff kind of deal. So they're shaped a little differently than some of these others.
You were talking yesterday about like not with the 3/4 inch, but having the crossbars and how it
Oh, yeah.
comes through. I don't see there's any problem while you're working on this. I'm not even seeing, did you tighten the canvas somehow or the backside?
It's just sort of tightened up while I've been working on it.
Oh, okay.
But there's a secret to it.
Okay, I'm waiting for it.